Hello. I should have done a little bit of a mic test before I went live, but we're live and it looks like everything's going well. So, hello everyone and welcome back to Thursday and the Midwest F1 League. We have been very bare with the streams lately, and Jess has been a solo Thursday, but things are in the works and there's a lot of things going on. So, we're hoping to get more action to you running on the Twitch channel at some point soon. But if you're just checking out the title, then you will see that we are with the Division 3 drivers today. Very exciting one. And we're going to check out where we're driving. And we'll start off by bringing up the Marina Bay Circuit. You're new to this circuit, it is a street course in the downtown. Whatever. It's in Singapore, Marina Bay. It's a fun one. Offers up a lot of tough turns and actually has some opportunities to overtake on a street circuit. So the Division 3 drivers are going to be in tough here today to try and maneuver their way through the field and as well as to keep things clean. But I got kicked out of the lobby, so that's why I keep looking in and out there. But it's going to be a fun one. And my first time down in Division 3 this season, I haven't been able to go up and down throughout the order as much as I was hoping for. We've had the lack of casters this season, so it's been unfortunate. I've been on Division 1 duty for most of the season, but I'm excited to give the Division 3 drivers a go here. And we'll actually check out who is the Division 3 drivers that you'll be seeing here this evening. And, ooh, actually, one second. Do-do-do. Do-do-do. There we go. I did a little editing beforehand and I didn't quite put it in the stream. So, yes. Clog, I got 4th in Division 1 one time. Yes, you did, my guy. Good to see you in chat, dude. It's been a while. But, yeah, this is what is Division 3 as it stands right now. So I'll give you a second to orientate yourself on who is down here and some familiar faces that you've probably seen before in the past. If you've been tuning in for quite some time, obviously you know the leader in Singapore. That is yes. Pork Chops. He of course is the almighty one. As well, if you've been around for quite some time, you'll know the names of Hotspot and Static Hazard all the way down in the Mercedes team there. Both former casters, one being my co-caster and one being a solo one who did a great job for this league for a couple of seasons, completely editing all of this footage right up to the YouTube channel. So best of luck to you there, Hotspot, today, as well as Guitar Man Con, Wild Meta, Chief Braids, VTech, a lot of familiar faces here, VTech, Sherry Coleslaw, some guys you've seen drive here or there from time to time. So that is what we will be getting into this evening. But for the... That doesn't look right. Oh. Shoot. Okay, we'll do this then. We'll bring up the past and future schedule of Division 1 as well as the rest of the league for everyone to check out and see what's to come and what has happened for the past podiums in this league here. While I figure some shiitake mushrooms out here. No, we want this one. All right, almost there. And ba-bang, there you go. Division 3 Drivers Championship for everyone to see. We've got Ray E46 leading the way, familiar face there. Of course, Ray's been was in F2 for the longest time. Grim Reefer. I've seen him on the podium in Division 2 and I believe in Division 3 last time we went down. Pork Chops, of course, in 4th. Sharia Coleslaw. Dusty Lucky in the top 5. And a couple of other known names. But the past results / schedule have looked like this. NFS Buck and Leclerc Dusty Lucky with some podiums to their name. Dusty Lucky has gotten 4 in the last 5 races, so he's on some sort of tear, so we got to keep an eye out for him in the Ferrari. But going over the Constructors Championship, it stands with Williams leading the way. Ferrari just on the outside looking in. Alpine and Mercedes not too far back, still within a shout. And then from that point, it somewhat drops off to Red Bull and Haas and in the back of the pack. But we'll go quickly to the Division 1 Drivers' Championship. That sees Scavney leading the way still. Ryan Rods is couldn't quite close the gap last race, but is trying to get himself back within the hunt. Hash, we've just got news that I believe he's actually stepping down from the Midwest F1 League, so that will vault Mystic Joker up from 4th to 3rd. Cake Thomas and Almajaco will round out the top 5. As it stands right now, Super Dinas, Dace, and Helg are the ones that sit in the relegation zone right now. But on to what was the results last week. Mystic Joker, Texas Speech, and Hash were on the podium. The DNFs, unfortunately, to Helg, Yolmir, and Impossible Bacon. Eggplant for you, pork. You probably wish you could grow eggplant there, Cog, in Farming Simulator, from what I've heard you've been going crazy on. And then the Constructors Championship, Alfa Romeo leading the way. Aston Martin not too far back, probably one decent race within striking distance. Same with Ferrari. They're still right there. McLaren falling off a little bit. Haas and Mercedes. Haas is closer than Mercedes. Mercedes is kind of in the area of Williams and Alpine there, and Red Bull and AlphaTauri. Hell yeah, player. Red Bull and AlphaTauri still yet to crack the 1,000 point mark. But quickly, there's no cars out here. We'll rip through the Division 2 results for everyone. And the schedule sees this. Last week's podium was Scuba Steve, Aerodas Racing Design, and Tiger NASCAR. Tiger with his third podium. Royally misread that. But a lot of mixed podiums through Division 2 there. Light Work was leading the way, but he's gotten moved up into Division 1. So he leads with 5 podiums total, but we've got just one driver with more than 2, and that's Edgar. Everyone else only has 2 or just 1. Kind of crazy stat line there. But quickly, that brings the Division 2 Drivers' Championship to Mitch Burns, Edwin, and Tiger NASCAR currently sitting in promotion, as well as Forza Juve, Nero Nix, who was leading Division 2 a lot last season, and Shelly the Turtle down in relegation right now. So they've got some work to do as we are running out of races. As you can see on your screen, we are on race week 11 of 16. So drivers will be running out of time to save themselves from that relegation zone. And quickly onto the Constructors Championship before we jump into the screen. Actually, no, we'll have one quick shout out to our sponsors beforehand. But McLaren only team to crack the 1,000 point mark. AlphaTauri and Williams, Mercedes as well, within distance, but slightly farther back than what they'd hoping to be. Alpine is quite far back, and Ferrari is way far back, and the rest of the teams there need to get a move on. But a quick shout out to, like I said, our sponsors. Get the heck off the screen. No, that's not it. There we go. No noise, I guess. We'll go without the Midwest loop track, but here we go. EPOS Gaming. Be sure to go !EPOS in chat, and I'll bring you right up to the store for you to purchase some quality EPOS gear for all your gaming needs. And by all your gaming needs, I mean only headset and microphone. So not every gaming need, but a good portion of it. So go check that out, and hopefully you'll enjoy the product. As well as quickly, I'll hit it with Raise Energy as we get the Midwest Loop pack. Raise Energy, 15% off discount at checkout there with MWF1. So be sure to go check that out as well. Some high quality stuff. ! Raise in chat for that as well. But it looks like we're going to get some drivers around for some hot laps here. Chief Braid seems to be the first one here. So we will jump on board with him. Already done a couple of the turns, and we'll catch ourselves back up. And Jay Steve already out. Maybe we'll get on board his Red Bull teammate VTech. Actually, he's into the pit, so it doesn't look like we'll be able to catch any sort of glimpse of JST there. You know what? Who better to show us what this circuit can offer us than the man who was probably the first ever on track in the Midwest logo, that being Pork Chops, swinging his way through turns 1, 2, and 3. Now, where can Pork Chops qualify? That is always a very, very tough question. But he's going to try and extend that line as much as he can, exiting turn 5, and he's got his second DRS zone of the whole circuit here. And we're entering into turn 7, finishing up sector 1. Onto sector 2 we go. Into the second turn, turn 8, trying to extend that line nicely so, and getting as much speed as you can, and doesn't attack that corner as much as he could, maybe taking a little bit of a sharper line, extending that turn right up to the wall, but opts for a little bit of a safer one. Static Hazard comes over the quickest lap so far. And here we go, that we get into some of the technical section, the dangerous section as well. Got to watch out for this wall on the right, and he doesn't really attack that wall on the left here, taking it clean and going for a banker. Looks for a nice exit out here into his third and final DRS zone. Very short one there. And maybe attacks that one a little bit too much, and misses his braking point, nearly clipping the outside wall off of turn 14, but now we're into 15 and 16 and 17. Working our way under the stands. Fun little turn there, and I usually tend to attack that a little bit more, but like I said, just a first banker, and he's taking it clean. Here's Pork, just wants to get a time over the line, and he's coming around the final couple of turns. Doesn't opt to pin it, and not the best of times, but like I said, it's a banker. That's another car out. Both Red Bulls are gone. They'll be starting in the back of the pack. Yula Colvin here comes over in 9th. Grim Reaper's got a hot spot tucked right in his caboose there. And he comes around the final turn here and takes a little bit more of that line than Pork Chops did in his initial time around, and doesn't have much of a shout on fastest lap there. We're just waiting for the next car to come over, and it may be Tim Lee. Nope, Tim Lee's teammate Chief Grades there. King David about to start a hot lap. Pork Chops will be into the pit. Ray E46 is looking like yellow flag in sector 2. It looks like we got an Aston Martin low on fuel. He's just trying to creep his way into the pits. Ooh, we've got a Ferrari right off into the runoff spot there. I believe that's Tim Lee. He's trying to spin himself around. Oh. What in the world? I did not catch what was going on there. I just happened to be on King David and just saw him smack the back of Eula Colvin. And that was an unfortunate 5-place grid penalty there. Only one person on track going for a hot lap. And that's Unholy Red Eyes. He's on some old mediums, so I imagine he's going to come to the pit. I don't think he's pitted yet, since his first initial go. But very odd. We've seen both Red Bulls out, a little bit of a collision in pit lane. And a driver on the medium tire compound up in the top spot for qualifying. Tim Lee's actually going to come into the pit. Oh, he clips the back of the tire. Clips the back left tire, not the back of the tire. Garrett's back and Ray. Only drivers right now on hot laps. There's a McLaren slowed up at the end of Sector 2 there. Zach's got to go into the 136s virtually to get pole. Doesn't look like he's going to do it. And doesn't even look like he's not even going to improve on his time there. He's going to go around and try again here. I'm going to say Ray E46. So what can Ray do here? Around the final turn, going to go into the mid 137s, and he will jump all the way up into third place. Leading Division 3, and sitting pretty well in qualifying here. You got a Mercedes coming through Sector 3. That may be stat or hotspot. Is stat, but he's invalid. Tim Lee behind on a hot lap. Dirty Boy Jackson next up, and 103.920. Is good for purple Sector 2. And more yellow flags in Sector 2 there. We might have a Alpine out of fuel. Okay, so it's hotspot. Hotspot's the next Mercedes in behind. It's looking like the Williams of the Garrett's back. Oh, I messed up on hotspot. Hotspot goes second after Dirty Boy Jackson. The Garrett's back, and then Saffron City. Unholy Red Eye and Knuckles and African. Knuckles doing a decent job there. Oh, but he's actually just setting up for a lap. Where is Grim Reaper going to go? Got several turns to go before he can get over the line here. I don't think this is going to... Oh, and NFS Buck is out too. Oh, Grim Reaper goes 13th. Shiny. Ray's probably coming to the pit. And that's 5 drivers out now of qualifying. And I didn't even notice Chariot Coleslaw going out. Or Pork Chops. What in the world? Pork Chops has got to be retired in pits. Not Tim Lee now. It is Tim Lee. Where's Tim Lee going to go? Tim Lee goes 17th. Now that's stats way off this time. Currently sitting 6. Can improve there. Bears back. No improvement there. Saffron City. New. Unholy Red Eye. Invalid. Dirty Boy Jackson already set a time. Knuckles already set a time in lap. Saffron. Sorry, African. Probably in lap as well. Hotspot in lap. Grim Reaper in lap. Is Tim Lee going at it again? Somewhat. Yellow flag in sector 3/1. Looks like it's Unholy Red Eye spun out. Picks himself back up. Boy, I hope I have a better race tonight versus every time we race tonight. Yeah. Probably not. That's right. And a little bit of rain at the end of this qualifying here, so these times might just stand. This might be the end of our qualifying here. Nah, you'll do good, Pork. I believe in you. You're just sandbagging your qualifying so you can have a better chance at the hardest charger. But that's probably it for qualifying here. Tiny, Tawny. It feels shiny. That's funny. It feels like you have to say it Australian. Shiny. Retires. That'll probably bring the end of qualifying here. Imagine all these drivers are going to come into the pit. Track is going to get too wet. No point of even trying. African, you can tell, is just wanting to get into the garage. As some may say, the garage. Do you notice I catch a lot of little crap like that just from somehow joining up on a driver doing it? But yes, that is it for qualifying here. That will see us with Dirty Boy Jackson up on the top spot. Hotspot second, Buck in third, Chiny in fourth, Ray fifth, Sherry is sixth, Static Hazard seventh, Knuckles eighth, Saffron City in ninth, and African in 10th. Buck, of course, qualifies with the mediums. Chief Braid, Zula Colvin, Unholy Red Eye, Grim Reaper, Garisvac, Pork Chops, Tim Lee, the last to set times, and VTech King David and Stee all go without a time set. As well as makes them not eligible for the hardest charger. All right. You know what? Why don't we go over last week's results a little bit for Division 1? I kind of ripped through it quickly there, and may not have left enough time to familiarize yourself with what was. And Mystic Joker did take the win once again. Texas Beach was second, Hash third, Cake Thomas fourth, Willands fifth, Scavney sixth, Smith Pell seventh, Murphy eighth, Detail ninth, and Gint to win it in 10th. And of course, like I said earlier, Impossible Bacon, Yulmir, and Helg all with DNFs. Rough go there. And the top pack sees Scavney leading the way, Ryan Rodden second, Hash in third, and like I've heard, the rumor of him potentially quitting. Quitting's a bad word, retiring. And Mr. Joker in fourth, Cake Thomas in fifth. So we'll see how things play out at the end of the circuit here today. But right now, things are looking pretty good. So we'll see what the Division 3 drivers can bring us. And be sure to stay tuned afterwards for some interviews, as 3 or 4 of these lucky drivers here up on your screen will be getting that interview. And we will see what they have to say of what happened in this race, what's happened in past races, and what they expect in the future. So don't go anywhere at the end of this race, and hopefully we can get some drivers in for a little discussion on everything that takes place as a whole in the league for them. But yes, hopefully you will be enjoying what is on board for you. If you will be back next week, we will be in Bahrain. And let me just get rid of my camera there, and there you go. The Bahrain International Circuit, of course, the first track of the year for the IRL racing. So look forward to that. It will be a fun one, so hopefully I will see you there. But as I said earlier, and as I showed you earlier, today is Singapore. So we are very excited here for this one, and we're looking forward to what the Division 3 drivers can do for us. So without further ado, they are coming in and lining up after their formation lap, and we will get right to the action. We've got 2 McLarens in the top 4 here, 1 and 3. Hotspot sitting second, splitting them. His teammate Static Hazard down in 7th, and it looks like the only other team with 2 drivers in the top 10 starting is Saffron City and African in the 5th row in 9th and 10th. But all right, 5 5 red lights will go out, and we are underway in Division 3. Dirty Boy Jackson leads us into turn 1. Can his teammate Buck fight him off at all? No, Dirty Boy has a clean start, and no one's even touching him. Buck goes around the outside on Hotspot here, but Hotspot's going to try and battle this one out as much as possible. But it looks like Buck has got the pace, and he is up into second. Ray and Tiny are fighting for 5th here. And we'll get on board with Tiny and see what's happening, but there's a big group in the back there that's all jostling for position. And early on, it looks like King Davis picked up 2 spots. Tiny and Ray, as well as jostling up in 4th and 5th, and down the inside line goes Ray, and he gets a position on Tiny, and Tiny is just sitting in 5th with Sherry Coleslaw draped all over the gearbox of that AlphaTauri. So checking out the tire compounds here, the only two drivers up in the top 10 on the mediums, that's Ulek, Holden, and Buck. Ulek started outside of the top 10 and switched for the mediums. African in 11th is on the softs, and he's got to hope he can overtake Ulek Holden. Unholy Red Eye is losing some major positions here, and that's because he's got no front wing. Down into 19th place, he will surely drop into 20th. VTEC should overtake him and jump up into 19th, and Unholy Red Eye, unfortunately, is in a really tough spot early on. He's going to have to pit for probably some hards. Oh, and a very ambitious move from Chief Braids down the inside line of the Garrett's back. And that's not what you want to do that early on. No damage to the drivers, and it's just going to hurt you in the end. So, an ambitious one from Chief Braids, but he looks like he's okay. No damage taken, so he's just going to venture forward. Buck is right on the back of Dirty Boy Jackson there. Dirty Boy, even on those softs, can't quite shake Buck. And how long are these softs going to last for? The 2 McLarens, the Papaya Orange, are trying to just blow away from the field. Hotspot doesn't want to let go. Ray is already kind of fallen off the pace of these drivers, getting into the battle with Tiny early on. And as well, Ulek Holden looks to be very tight on the back of Saffron City there. Looks like Hotspot's getting Dirty Boy Jackson here. We have a yellow flag in Sector 3 for a moment there, and that's Tim Lee picking himself up. And Dirty Boy is now down into 3rd. He must have taken some sort of damage here. He's just really losing pace. Buck is already 2.5 seconds up the road from Hotspot. Maybe Dirty Boy might not have the race pace here, but I'm not sure. He looked really quick in qualifying. I don't want to say that he doesn't have the race pace. He looked quick through the first 2 laps, but something must have happened here, and he's slowly losing some major time to the drivers up ahead. And Ray can see Dirty Boy struggling, and oh, he is really finding a little bit of difficulties here. African and Saffron City there. Ooh, and African misjudges that turn. That will slow up both drivers. That allows Ulek Colvin right back onto the tail of Saffron City. But these Hosses are towing each other through and making things very difficult for Ulek to get through. And ooh, Saffron broke a little earlier than what Ulek was anticipating there. Now Ulek has to back off a little bit because of so, but it looks like he should be able to catch him. Won't get any DRS here, and that's going to really suck. As you see, yeah, Saffron City does get DRS, so he's able to creep up the road ever so slightly, but not too far. That isn't the biggest DRS zone in the world. So here we go, we're on board with Ray, and Ray is trying to work himself ahead of Dirty Boy Jackson. Gotta watch that one there, right? It doesn't look like Ray's going to be able to get it done here. He's going to get close. Needs a little bit longer of a straight. And he's going to be looking for the one out of turn 5 here. He's got to do it clean through these turns. Keep it close to Dirty Boy. And then get a good launch out of turn 5. Try not to get caught in that dirty air. And it looks like Dirty Boy Jackson may have just done enough to be able to hold himself 3rd place. Yeah, Ray is not going to be able to get through. Static Hazard won't either. Ulek Colvin down the inside line here on Saffron was able to catch him. And now he's going to try and push him out wide, but he's got Grim Reaper coming up the inside underneath. And now, after all that fighting, Ulek Colvin just gets sewered out of 2 positions. Had one in his hands, but Saffron City slowed him up. Ulek couldn't quite defend the inside line on Grim Reaper, and Johnny on the spot picks up the position, and now it's his turn to try and hunt down Saffron City. And on top of that, picks up a 3-second time penalty, and that is just ouch, just to put it simply. And Saffron City is able to hold that spot, and he's actually holding up these 3 drivers here as his teammate African launches up the road there. And Ulek Colvin is trying to make headway here. But King David and Grim Reaper are battling it out, slowing each other up, and then by doing so, Saffron City is just driving off into the distance. Guys, come on, work together. You're all wearing different liveries, but be a team for like a couple of laps. Get through Saffron and then work your way up the road. It's a long race. Tiny's into the pit. Race still onto the back of Dirty Boy, and overshooting that turn isn't going to really help him that much. And looks like we may be in the same situation as last lap. Oh, maybe a different outcome though. Ray is able to get the slipstream now of Dirty Boy Jackson. Is that long enough? He's going to dive down the inside line. Dirty Boy just barely gives enough room, if that. But a virtual safety car will be deployed, as I cannot see what has happened on track, but that makes the pit stop for Tiny a little bit quicker, actually. Not a whole heck of a lot quicker, but any sort of second is beneficial in the end anyway, so we will take it. Pork's in the back there, and King David is going to try and get through Grim Reaper, but Grim Reaper is going to battle him all the way through. And that's going to continue into turn 8. Wheel to wheel go these drivers, and now it's going to even continue into turn 9. But we've got the Alpine with the inside line, but the AlphaTauri rings it around the outside, and King David jumps up into 2nd place. But Grim Reaper definitely made it tough on him. But after all that battling that those drivers have gone through, African is 3 seconds up the road, but a virtual safety car will bring it all to an end. And yeah, let's give Pork Chops a little bit of airtime here. A lot of drivers are going to come to the pit here, and we're going to see who opts to stay out. And there he is in the 34. What happened to VTech? VTech's in the wall, and that's another team, another driver gone. That's really unfortunate there. 2 drivers out. Safety car just finishing up after lap 7. And if you got Midwest Bingo going, be sure to put down virtual safety car and the safety car. Safety car should be in this lap, and we'll get things back underway on to lap 9. Buck leads with some fresh mediums. Grim Reefer in second with some 7-lap-old mediums. Giersvac in third with some 7-lap-old hards. Everyone has opted for at least the mediums. No one is even bothering with the softs right now. Used them to start, and that was it. will jump up with the lead pack here. Buck slowing everyone up, making sure those tires are nice and warm. It's going to be tougher for the hard compounds to get warm than compared to the mediums. But it looks like Buck's going to send it here, and he's caught Grim Reaper off, and he's going to break up the road, and Garrett's back as well gets a poor timing. Hot spot and a really good spot here. He's going to try and close that gap up to the drivers ahead into turn one we go. And JST, oh no, gets a little bit too heavy and nearly goes into the wall. He doesn't technically go off. Not from what I was able to see, so no re-entry penalty there. But he's back into sixth, and he's lucky to be there. He was nearly completely out of this race. But Sherry are now trying to work on JST. Jay was sitting in a good spot without a pit, but is now having to battle his way back into this. There you go. Hotspot's trying to work himself back within this. Buck is absolutely running away with this so far. Nearly 3 seconds up the road already. Grim Reaper getting caught off and can't get himself back in. The Garrett's back just slowly losing pace to Grim Reaper as well. Those hards haven't quite got up to speed quite yet. And Hotspot is trying to work on the Garrett's back here for third place. Being on these fresh mediums, he's going to want to try and get through as soon as possible, and you can see the advantage that Buck has with fresh mediums on the driver behind. And Garrett's back, goes a little bit off kilter there. And that's going to bring Hotspot in with a shout down the inside line of turn one. Breaks him. Back gives a lot of space, and these guys are all over the place to the first 2 to 3 turns, and now Ray is trying to get himself back up underneath. Hotspot goes through back into fifth, and Ray is up into fourth place. And a yellow flag in behind, and that looks like it's JST. Oh no. Problems in that same area. 2 out of the 3 laps here since the restart, and he is all the way back into 18th place. Now Ray and Hotspot really got to try and go and close that gap up ahead, but there's already 7 seconds to Buck, and these two are mainly battling for second place, but we'll see what the pit stop strategies can bring us from this point on. But we're going to have 21 full laps to go. I'm assuming there's going to be at least one more pit stop here. These drivers up the front have already used the soft tire compound, so they're just definitely going to go soft, medium, medium. Sherry Coleslaw gets through on back as well. And Tiny doesn't want to get caught in bumps. Garrett's back ever so slightly. And Dirty Boy Jackson picking up a 3-second time penalty. He's battling with Knuckles. And major collision there. Dirty Boy Jackson is completely without a wing, as is Knuckles. And we're going to have another safety car here. We saw a little bit of a carnage there right before the section underneath the stands. And we are sitting with the second safety car in 10 laps. So some decide to come into the pit, some opt out. Yeah, there's a commentator. Just not a lot happening right now, to be honest. A little bit of carnage. And we see 2 drivers out and another safety car. Luckily, we didn't lose a driver. But we got another safety car, so that changes up the plans. Fair enough. Yeah, but so far it's been a little bit of a slow one here. NFS Buck has somewhat ran away with things. The only 2 drivers that can really challenge him have been Hotspot and Ray, but unfortunately they're caught behind Grim Reaper. The safety car, if anything, brings those 2 drivers back into the battle, because Buck initially had an 8-second lead off of restart, and seemed to have just didn't have much of a competition really for battle, but we'll see what the safety car can do. Now Grim Reaper is going to stay out on these mediums, and it's going to make things a little difficult, like I said, for those 2 drivers behind. Sherry Coleslaw is, of course, on the same strategy, but Sherry was a little bit off pace in comparison to the other 3 drivers. Big group of hard drivers there, from 6th down to 10th, and that is definitely going to make things difficult for Chief Braids there, as well as African and Knuckles. I mean, we'll look up the position changes here, but things are still a lot of potential to be changed and maneuvered around. But King David right now picking up 13 positions, but he is not eligible for hardest charger, as he did not set a qualifying time. PWR Grim Reaper, though, is eligible and has picked up 12 spots and is looking very strong here. Had a very poor qualifying. Garris back from 15th to 6th, and he's sitting with a pretty good shout at hardest charger as well. So still a lot to take place. Fastest lap right now is sitting with the man up in front with a 140.730. Guess I could have left that up on the screen a little longer for everyone to see, but a 140.730 is what the fastest lap sits at right now. And only 2 drivers have yet to stop. Even those that had DNF'd did stop at least once, but the Garrisvac and Grim Reaper are going on for the long haul. Grim Reaper somewhat going for the Sergio Perez type ordeal, where the Garrisvac starting on the hards and seeing how long you can make those bad boys last. And he has got himself up into 6th, but we'll see how things take place after this restart here, and it should be coming on the start of lap 14 here. Once we finish this lap, we'll get back underway. All right. We're about to get back into it here. Pull up the tires, see what's happening. And there we go. Around the final turn goes Buck. Doesn't catch Grim Reaper off as much as he did last time. Hotspot has a really good lead on, or a really good run on Grim Reaper, and Grim Reaper is already under defense here into turn 1. And he is forced into a really poor line, and this is not good for Hotspot. And Hotspot's really got to try and clear. As you can see, Buck is already 2 seconds up the road. Oh no. Grim Reaper was having to defend so hard off of the race restart, and it's absolutely killed any sort of shot for Hotspot to get through. And now Ray still sitting back as well, and things haven't really gone awry all too much here. But King David and Tiny, two of the AlphaTauri teammates, pitting, and okay, luckily one was exiting when one was entering, but both looks like they need wing changes there. And we are coming through Sector 2 here. Into the bridge go the leaders. Hotspot right on the back of Grim Reaper. 7-lap difference in tires for these two drivers. But they are on the same compound. Saffron City picking up a 3-second time penalty. Yeah, but if you're enjoying what you see, I mean, if you haven't been here too long, be sure to follow and come back every week and check out the divisions that Midwest F1 League has to offer. I am, of course, Crash McLean, the, as per usual, normal lead commentator of the Midwest F1 League. So if you have any sort of questions in chat, then be sure to let me know, and I'll be glad to answer. We've been around for over a year and a half now, and we've got 7 divisions of quality drivers. When I say quality, I mean subpar drivers that do the best they can week in and week out, and a little bit of contact with Hotspot there, and Grim Reaper's in a really tough spot and tries to flick spin himself, and did collect a little bit of Unholy Red Eye there. And it doesn't look like you can see any visible damage on Unholy's front wing there. But Knuckles as well in a little bit of trouble. He's all the way back in 15th with a little bit of damage. And this street circuit is biting very, very hard. Working our way underneath this grandstand, and still Ray is ahead in this pack. Hotspot has fallen back into fourth. Sherry Coleslaw actually picks up the position, but NFS Buck has absolutely launched up the field, up into first place, or has remained in first place, up to nearly 8 seconds ahead. 7.5 is currently where it stands, and things are staying fairly clean throughout the rest of the field after a little bit of that kerfuffle early on. But Buck seems to be in some sort of groove here, and we're over halfway through, and we've got some more pits. Grim Reaper is coming up for some fresh softs, and that's quite the decision there. Static Hazard gets through on Unholy Red Eye as a couple of hard runners are going to start to think how long can they send these hards and how long do they want to. They probably need to try and get up to around lap 22, I'd say. So 6 more laps, and Dirty Boy Jackson has spun. He's into the wall, and he's got to get himself back on the straight and narrow. And unfortunately, that is some wing damage to him. Doesn't look like it's actually that bad. Looks like a lot more wing on the ground than what we saw. 3-second penalty now to Hotspot. And that just makes things a little bit worse now, as that will actually drop him back in behind Static Hazard. Well, keep an eye on that interval between Hotspot and Static Hazard. When will these mediums start falling off, and when are these hards going to start taking over? Oh, Hotspot. He finds himself without a wing now. Now he's going to slowly slip down the order. Sherry and Coleslaw still within a second to Ray. Directly in battle with each other now. And Chief Braids finds himself into a little bit of difficulties as well. And he's parked right on the apex. And you need to pick yourself up, my good sir. You're not in the best of spots. But we continue on, and Sherry Coleslaw is closing that gap ever so slightly to Ray, wanting to get up into second place, but Ray is not going to make it easy. Ray, of course, will not leading the way in the Division 2 Drivers' Championship. He is. He does have... Oh, that's Division 2. Division 3 Drivers' Championship is what I was saying. Graham Reaper and Sherry Coleslaw are sitting 2 and 3 behind Ray, but... they've got quite the ways to go. The Hotspot has to go so far to get into the pit. I don't know how Dirty Boy Jackson doesn't have any wing damage there. King David going around the outside line of the garage back. Yellow flag as it looks like Chief Braids is into the runoff. Unholy Red Eye into the pit now. This is the main battle right now. Battle for second place. Ray and Sharia. Now, Sharia as well. I'll bring up the championship for you quickly to check out. I'll let you know if anything happens. Oh, no, that's not what I want to do. No, no, no. There it is. So they're separated by just over 100 points. And we'll go back over the battle. They really goofed that one out. Could have done that a lot smoother. Still working out the kinks after a year and a half. You can't call yourself perfect. What division is that? This would be Division 3. Should be in the title. If it's wrong in the title, can you let me know and I'll change it? Firstnators, you're in the league and you just followed. Thank you very much. Yeah. Thanks for the follow there, Firstnators. Appreciate that. Here we go. Static Hazard now. Ray found himself in a little bit of difficulties. And now Stats trying to go up into second place, but actually backs out. Did not feel like that was the time. Division 7 is a mess, yeah? That sucks. Now, Ulek Colvin found some difficulties early on, but he's now trying to work himself back into it. He's going to get an overtake, as well as Pork Chops. Pork Chops with an outside shot at a podium here. And Pork Chops and Ulek are dueling it out. Pork Chops has got to send these to lap 17. And Ulek will have to send those to lap 23. So a long ways to go for these two drivers. And both of their tires are going to be wearing out pretty similarly. So Ulek and Pork are 7.5 seconds back of the podium. But will Sharia and Buck pit? More importantly, Sharia. Stat will probably be able to go the rest of this race, you imagine, with these hards. But Buck is probably going to have to slow things down and take it easy and try and, one last thing, how do we become an announcer for the week? You want to become a caster? And Buck will go, Pork Chops will go through on Ulek. Did you message me before about that? Honestly, if you did, I apologize for not. DM me on Discord and we can figure something out there for sure. Yeah, trust me, I hear you, man. I'm in the same boat. It's easy to trash people when they don't know how good of a driver you are. The good thing is that no one knows how good of a driver I am. Else these guys would be in trouble. To put it simple. Crash McQueen. Yeah, DM me. Crash McQueen. J-St trying to catch Ulek as well. Pork Chops trying to drive away from Ulek. Stat slowly closing that gap here to Sharia now. And it's looking like these mediums are starting to lose their pace. And the hards are, of course the hards don't gain any pace, but the hards are staying with their pace. And Ulek gets overtaken by J-St, but that's okay. Ulek is still guts to go quite a few laps, so you don't want to battle this out too hard here. And yeah, slowly but surely, Stats reeling in Sharia. Hotspots gets through on Knuckles. King David trying to work on Dirty Boy. Dirty Boy on 9-lap old hards. King David on 6-lap old mediums. Doesn't look like it's going to get done there. King David be able to get done here? Doesn't look like it. Not long enough of a straight. Gonna have to wait for the as per usual area, the exit out of turn 5 and into turn 7. Gotta stay close though. Using up every little ounce of ERS he can, and he will absolutely send it down the inside line and will get the car slowed down in time to hit the apex, and King David goes up into 7th place. is Grim Reaper going to be able to go on these softs for? He's definitely going to have to pit once more. Was he out of medium tires? So now we can probably look at the position changes a little more realistically. And Pork Chops has picked up 12th. Jace D has picked up 14th. And King David has picked up 13th. Yellow flag in Sector 3. That is Jace D off again. And if there's any place to do it on track, that is definitely the place, right beside the pit entry. And he will come in for most likely his last stop of the evening. But the only driver really that has any sort of shout to the Harsh Charger is technically Ula Colvin, as King David did DNF in qualifying and is not valid for the Harsh Charger. And we'll jump up into the battle for second place here, as it looks like Static Hazard has reeled in Sherry Coleslaw. Both are on 15-lap old mediums. Ouch. On DMD. Okay, thank you. I will check it after this race. Oh, and no stat. Oh. A little too aggressive there, and there he goes without a wing, and that will vault Pork Chops up into a podium position. Stat has been known to go on some crazy strategic runs here, but running 7 laps without a wing is not viable from this point on, and a pit is needed to be had. And that will probably bring him out around 7th place, I imagine, and Buck will actually pit as well. Now, will Sharia stay out? Probably not. Sharia will probably come in as well. Will Pork try and send these tires to the rest of this race? We have no idea how old these things are. And he is going to stay out. That will put him up, and oh no, a safety car will be brought out, and just absolutely dreadful timing for Pork Chops there. Buck will come out ahead of Pork. Ulek just misses the pit, as does King David, and all these drivers here are going to get a pit stop, and we'll see what the timing is going to look like. Maybe actually good for Stat. The shattered wing may be a blessing in disguise. He's going to throw on the mediums to ride him out for the rest of this. 5-second penalty there. It's not what you want when you're in a pit stop battle here. But right now, Static Hazard may be net second position after all the pit stops are had. Okay, so my prediction here is that Ulek actually opts to stay out. Oh wow, that is very aggressive. Pork, don't call it a comeback. Yeah, just easy there. Easy there. Still has a ways to go here. Very close between Stat and King David, and Stat is just able to edge him out. So I think everyone's gonna be caught up by lap 20. Well, I think we'll definitely do a restart on lap 27. So we'll have 5 full laps after that is said and done. That's not what you want to do there, Unholy Red Eye. Why do I always catch the weird little crap that goes wrong? Yeah, Inter's quite the decision there. But yeah, we are going to get lap 27 as our restart. Dirty Boy Jackson. And that's not a glitch. He does have the intermediate tire compound on. And you do see the rain coming down, but will it be wet enough? How hard is this rain going to come down? Will the cars be able to keep the track dry enough? It's a lot of questions to be asked. But Dirty Boy Jackson taking a risk. And honestly, Buck, I think you want to kind of get on with it here, my guy. You don't want to dilly-dally too much. And Chief Braids goes into the pit. And oh my god, what is going to happen? There, a bunch of drivers are going to come into the pit. Okay, so now things are going to get really interesting. Dirty Boy Jackson may have just made the call of the race. And Hotspot is on the struggle bus. And you can see the track glistening a lot. Hotspot's able to pull away from Dirty Boy here, but it's big with the corners. Dirty Boy's going to have the traction. It is going to be very tough. And Dirty Boy's going to go down the inside line on Hotspot. Hotspot's going to try and battle out and does a good job. of keeping it on track, but Dirty Boy just has the grip advantage, and he'll be able to jump up ahead of Hotspot here. Wow, these drivers up ahead are really going to be taking it easy here. And Hotspot's actually out. Will that bring a safety car just as VSC? Yeah, never mind. He's a genius, honestly. Yeah, the timing of that was just flawless. But these drivers being overtaken by Dirty Boy Jackson is not helping out the drivers behind. And a full safety car. What? That safety car is going to come in lap 29 at the end of it. So another safety car here in Singapore. And that's going to put Dirty Boy Jackson back up into the top spot here. But that will close up the rest of the pack to him. So that unfortunate error by Hotspot there is really going to change the race quite a bit. And a fairly clean pit stop in the Alfa Romeo garage here. Unholy Red Eye is into the pit. Braids is going through. And where is Hafferkin going to come out? He's going to come out. Oh, he's going to get ahead of Vac. Potentially. No, Vac is... Yeah, he comes out ahead of Vac. So... we're going to have lap 30 and 31 to race. Knuckles and Static Hazard will not catch the rest of this pack by the time we're ready to go back. And wow. Okay, so the safety car will come in this lap. 2 full laps before the end of this bad boy. This is going to be a tight one. This can go a lot of different ways here. Now, Dirty Boy Jackson needs to try and clear 6 seconds. Ouch. So, Dirty Boy is kind of running in a race of where he's going to end up in the midfield. Pork Chops and Sharia are on for a crazy finish. King David as well, not quite out of it. And Ray and NFS Buck have some work to do. But we're gonna get an exciting one here, that's for sure. And for, I think, the third out of fourth safety cars, McLaren is going to restart us again here. Dirty Boy Jackson controls the destiny of the field. Chief Braids is actually in between. Chief Braids and Saffron City is in between Dirty Boy Jackson and the two drivers. Oh, Pork Chops gets a really good run on Sharia. And King David launches down the inside line. Both drivers go off. Pork Chops tries to weave his way back in. King David fighting really hard for this one. And he will go up into second place. And Sharia gets a snap of oversteer and it unfortunately cuts right in front of Pork. And now Pork has got Ray going down the inside. But Ray has got 3 seconds worth of time penalty. So that's really going to kill Pork Chops there. The Pork is still in the line for a podium here. And now the rain is really coming down. So King David with an absolute dive bomb of a move down into turn 1 and finishes it off through turn 2 and 3 on Sharia and Pork. I didn't even know he was coming from the back. We were on board with Sharia as he was trying to time the pack up ahead. But unfortunately, caught some missed timing from the drivers that needed to be lapped in Chief Braids and Saffron City. And now things are really getting a little dicey here. And Dirty Boy Jackson now is starting to drive quite a bit of the ways up the road. And that's actually pushed Pork Chops off the podium now. I think he's over 6 seconds back. And yeah, he's 6.3 seconds back. So Pork Chops, unfortunately now, is off the podium step, and Dirty Boy Jackson with some clean air and no battling has just been able to get himself back into third place. And with the massive lunge from King David and Sharia, that's put Pork in a really unfortunate situation here. Buck as well, 2.5 seconds back in fifth place or sixth place, trying to find himself within a shout, but we're on to the final lap here, and Dirty Boy Jackson leads us. Pork Chops on the outside looking in. Unholy Red Eye gets Buck down into turn 1. And up in 6th place, both drivers opting to not take turn 2. African going down the inside line at Buck on turn 3, but Buck says no. Now Ray's trying to get Sharia here. And all it's going to do is just bring Pork back within the fight. King David surely has this one in the bag. Just got to get it home clean. Dirty Boy Jackson's got massive amounts of penalties. And with all this battling, it's virtually Sharia just trying to hold off Pork Chops, as Pork Chops is the only one that can challenge for second place. I think that is an Aston Martin there. And oh, Pork brings a little bit too deep and just punts the back of Ray and Sharia. No real harm done there. And Unholy Red Eye actually goes up into 5th place. Pork back into 6th. and that will bring an end to his podium shout. It will be King David coming over the line in a few turns for the win. Dirty Boy Jackson did have a really good timed pit stop for those inters. Had a crazy call to do so, and it almost paid off for him to completely taking the win, but it's actually going to pay off for him coming in second place. So not a bad shout, but today's day is King David. The AlphaTauri, after not setting a qualifying time, gets the win. And what happened to Sharia Coleslaw? Sharia comes over the line in third. Unholy Red Eye and Pork Chops jump up into fourth and fifth. Ray drops down into sixth. Buck, after having quite the race for the first 3 quarters of it, ends up finishing in seventh. And Tawny, African, and the Garrisback are in the top 10, with Grim Reaper, Holvin, Knuckles, Chief Braids, and Saffron City are the last of the finishers. All right, and there's your final results for you once again. I will get the interviews going here. Can you guys hear me? Okay. I can see that. Shria Coleslaw, can you unmute your mic for a second? Just do a comms check for us. Oh, there he goes. Shria Coleslaw, hello, hello. Sherry, deafened. Oh, trying to work it out. 1 second here. Oh, might be glitched in here. Here, we'll go over here. There we go. Sharia? There you go. Yeah, we can hear you now.
There we go.
Sometimes the broadcast channels just glitch for some people.
Yeah, it wasn't connected, although I was in it, and then I left it and didn't realize I couldn't join back.
Oh, bye, Pork. Hi, Pork.
Oh.
Pork?
Yes.
Okay, you're good. Okay.
Yes.
All right, I'll turn you down. Okay. Well, I haven't heard back from Dirty Boy Jackson, but that's okay. And neither from King David, so that's okay too. We'll ride the interviews with you two guys here. Now, you guys actually got into quite a little bit of a tussle there at the end of the race. You at one point were both battling for the final podium position. Of course, Pork, you found yourself in a little bit more difficulties than Sharia did. But we'll start with you, Sharia. Of course, you did end up on the podium. What was going through your mind in the final couple of, what was going through your mind before the second last safety car?
It was, should I pit for inners now or just wait? And I figured that the consequences of pitting for enters then and before the window would have been worse than waiting one lap. So I decided to stay out, and then Dirty Boy Jackson pulled Galaxy Brain and went ahead and pitted then for inners, which I should have done. And then I got lucky that Buck bended into the wall on that last lap out before going back in for inners. But basically, what was going through my mind there was the same thing as the entire race, which is don't crash, don't crash, don't crash. So.
Yeah, it's it can be definitely a tough thing to do in a racing game, of course, and especially one that in your street circuit and have some really ugly corners that Singapore has, and I feel that over half the lobby was caught out by at least one of them today. But anyhow, how was your? Oh, who's that? Unholy Red Eye. All right, screw it. Why not? So, how was your qualifying to start there, Sharia?
I put a better lap in than what I thought I would. I was only in the 38s when I was doing some practice sessions beforehand. I'm not a fan of Singapore. I really don't like the track at all. So when I put in the time that I did, I think I was initially P3. And so I was like, all right, well, that's a time that I'm happy with. I don't want to burn an extra set of sauce because we're not supposed to get rain until the end. So I just went ahead and retired there. So yeah, that was my plan. I ended up dropping to P6, I think, before qualifying was over.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough to care about what your qualifying was after a podium finish. But did you feel like you could have put more into qualifying? You think you could have went a little higher up?
I don't think it would have mattered ultimately. I mean, with any street circuit, so many safety cars, like the name of the game there is survive and stay out of trouble and focus on don't getting warnings and focus on not getting caught up in other people's incidents. And I had a couple of close calls in that regard. So I don't think it would have made a difference. I mean, anywhere I'm P6, so it's not like I was terribly far back anyway. I really don't think it would have made a difference. I wasn't confident that I would have gotten a better time anyway. Otherwise, I probably would have went out on a fresh set. So.
Yeah, fair enough. Like I said, it's it's tough to really care about what the qualifying was when you got a podium, especially at Singapore. It can be a really tough track, and it's more.
I'm very shocked by it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
why
I
is
did not
that?
expect that. Well, I mean, it's only the third ever podium I've ever gotten in league racing. So,
Oh,
when I came into this tonight, my goal was like P7 or higher, just to try and keep Dusty from overtaking me in the points.
what season did you
Um,
come into Midwest?
last season, past midway through, I think, right before Zandvoort last season.
Oh, okay,
Yeah. So,
fair
um,
enough.
yes.
And how
So
long have
I'm
you been in league
shocked
racing
by how
then?
well it did. Um, since about then, this was the first league I ever joined. So it would have been when this game came out, a little bit after that.
Oh, okay. Well, damn. Well, congratulations on one of your few first podiums. So
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
no worries. Best of luck. But yeah, those we'll go through those final couple of laps. You had pork chops in behind you there. You saw that that Dirty Boy had quite a few penalties up ahead, and did you even have any? I saw you actually really mistimed the race restart because of the two back markers there. What was going through your mind as soon as that happened?
Yeah, I did mistime it pretty terribly because of them. I didn't expect them. I was really worried that they weren't going to get out of the way very quick because they were also fighting each other for position. Um, and yeah, I mistimed it, but also with it being that wet, like it was like pretty bad even on inners. Um, I was I mean, it was real. I didn't expect them to get out of the way like that. And then by the time we got to turn one, King David just like was already past me. But I know he's quicker than me, so I wasn't really going to try and fight it that hard. I didn't even know that Pork and I almost got tangled up like we did until he told me afterwards. I was really just kind of focused on not crashing that last lap. I ended up struggling more with Ray on the last lap than I did with anything else because he was trying to get around me like pretty severely until about sector three. That was the hardest battle I had probably the entire race.
Yeah, it was. I was on board. I was actually on board with you, so I was seeing what you were seeing, and I had no idea that King David was anywhere even near you into that turn.
Yeah, he came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I had no clue. Well, I was on
Yeah.
board with you, then I was like, oh, Pork Chops has got to run. What's going on? Jump on board with Pork Chops, and then
Hmm.
Pork Chops is just the honey ham in the middle of a sandwich, and he's
I
just
did
doing as
everything I
much as
could
he
to try
can.
and hold him off too. Like
Yeah.
I probably pushed a little bit harder than I should have to try and keep him behind.
Mm.
Because ultimately, even if I had finished behind him, I would have been very happy with that result too.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm not going to give away a podium without a fight.
Oh no, for sure, for sure. It's hard to be. I mean, obviously you got to try and be respectful, but you're there
Hmm.
you're there for points.
Hopefully, I
You're
was.
there for a
He'll
podium.
tell me. I'm sure if I wasn't, but hopefully, I was.
There's only a couple of difference between points of third and fourth, but the podium is just a lot more. Uh,
Mm,
yeah, sounds a lot better than a fourth place.
mm,
Yeah, but anyway,
yeah.
well done. We're off to Bahrain
Bahrain.
next. What's your take on that?
Also, not a big favorite of mine. This Singapore and Bahrain are probably my least favorite tracks of all the ones that we raced this season. Right
Really?
before my best track, which is Jeddah. So my goal
Oh,
is to finish like above my friend Dusty, who got
oh,
put into D3. I don't. I'm trying to keep him behind me just for bragging rights.
yeah,
So
fair enough.
my goal is to still be ahead of him whenever these two races are over. And if I can do that, I hopefully will be in pretty good shape. We'll see.
Cool. Well, best of luck then.
I
Hopefully,
appreciate it.
hopefully I might be back by the time in Division Three at some point at the end of the season, but we'll see. Anywho,
Mm,
but best of luck in your
appreciate it.
promotion endeavors as well. You're right up there too.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see how things shake out.
All right, good stuff. Well, hopefully we'll be seeing you in Division Two next season. Best of luck.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
No worries, no worries. We'll hit with you, Pork. Now, you have quite the story to tell. In the last couple of laps, there things just went absolutely bonkers. You went from a potential second place to third place. You even had somewhat of a win shout at one point, and then you ended up finishing in sixth behind your teammate. It's quite the roller coaster of emotions. But it's never an easy race with you, eh?
Never.
Yeah.
It's always fucking difficult.
Yeah, but still solid points. I thought you were gonna get a podium. I was like, wow, he's gonna do it on the big screen in front of everyone. But no, it just didn't fall your way, unfortunately. But still, quite a few points. You're sitting pretty high up in Division 3. What's up with that commissioner magic in Singapore?
I really, really love this track. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's because it's so chaotic. Because I love Monaco. I love Singapore. It's just, I don't know what it is here.
Oh, is that why we always do Monaco? Is just because you love it?
I wish.
No.
We didn't do it this season.
Yeah, that is true. That threw me off completely when I looked at the schedule. I was like, whoa, where the hell is Monaco? Because usually we do it really early, too.
Yep, do it early, get it out of the way, get everybody able to recover from all the wing changes.
Yeah, mentally, pretty
Yep.
much. Yeah. But yeah, a little bit of a curveball of Singapore thrown into the 3/4 point of the way through the season. Now, the next street circuit is Jeddah. Which one did you say you're better in?
Probably Singapore.
Yeah. Is it because Jeddah's still too new?
It's new. It's fun to drive, but with it being filled with blind corners,
Mm.
anything goes wrong and it could collect 5, 6 cars. It did last season in D3. I got collected in I think 5-car DNF pileup, all because 2 people in front collided and 3 other people were collected.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So it's yeah, I haven't. The only experience I've really gotten is commentating in this league on it. So we'll see. I've got a lot of experience in Bahrain playing and casting it, so I'm looking forward to that one next week. Now I was actually on board with you during qualifying there, man, and you can take a lot more aggressive lines.
I had a lot of fuel and I was doing that second run and I ended up clipping the wall, so I called it and stepped away for a second, came back and saw that rain was really close, so I just called it quits then.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, did those last 2 safety cars kind of screw you? I mean, I think you were in a better podium shout without those safety cars and the rain, right?
I was just getting to DRS, I believe, when I think Stat was pitting.
Oh, that was a heartbreak, man. He had like P2 or P3 locked up, and yeah, he just absolutely just dummied a wall, and that was it for him.
Yep. When I saw he was going into the pits, I got pretty pumped up, and then I saw the safety car, and I was pretty defeated. Can't lie, but just kind of hope and pray for the best. And then I was not going to pull in for inters unless the guys in front did. I basically was just going to follow their lead. If they pulled in for inters during the safety car, I would do it, but they stayed out, so I figured I would stay out. And that first lap, when it went in, was absolute ice rink. There was no grip anywhere.
Oh yeah, I can imagine, dude. I did not think the rain would gonna come down that fast. Like, oh my.
Neither did I. I was kind of hoping we could finish it out on the softs.
Yeah.
Because that was the ultimate plan. Track position here is just as crucial as like a Monaco. It's pretty hard to pass. So.
Yeah, for sure. You have to. I was noticing a lot of that. There was quicker drivers being trapped in behind. Yeah. But anywho, well done again. Nice to speak to you again. And best of luck in the rest of the season there, Fork.
Well, thank you.
No problem, no problem. I can be nice to you.
I appreciate it.
No worries.
It's not very often that you're nice to me.
Take it when it comes. Take it when it comes.
Exactly.
All right, Unholy, you got your mute button ready to unmute yourself, that is.
Hello?
Oh, yes, you are loud. 1 second.
Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. I just have everything quiet. Okay. All right, Unholy. So you have been brought in by the the Masters word. So I caught a little bit of the end of your race, and you were just kind of in some sort of a. Now, it's a famous saying in hockey, at least, for defensemen. If you don't notice them, then they're doing a good job. And that was kind of your race today. You finished just ahead of your teammate. I want you to kind of take me through how you got there.
Well, it wasn't an easy race. I kind of felt the last, back up to about the mid-pack, last again. Was hoping for the rain because it kept saying give about 5-10 minutes, so I was holding out on the hards, and then ended up clipping a wall, so I had to come in, and I decided to go on the softs to try to stick it out to the rain, but I clipped another wall, so I had to change again, but I got lucky with all the safety cars. So on the last safety car, when it ended, I thought, when it started raining at least, I had thought that Pork was going to go in and change his tires before me. But yeah, so we had both stayed out, and actually I'm kind of glad I stayed out because I believe that's the reason why I may have finished P4 today, because it's sad that Hotspot had to crash out at that, causing another safety car, but it generally gave me a P4.
Yeah, I mean, it sucked to benefit off of others' misfortunes, but hey,
Yeah,
points
exactly.
are points are points.
Yeah.
Now, okay, here, let's pull up the Drivers' Championship here in Division 3. Let's see where you're sitting. So right now you're in what would be 10th place total. Now, would you expect yourself to be in this position at the start of the season?
It has been a good season. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
It's been a rough one for me, but I mean, I was hoping to be a bit higher up, fighting with the top 5 at least, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah, for sure. So our next few tracks see us go to Bahrain, Jeddah, then Zandvoort. A couple of tough tracks for some. What's your confidence level going into those 3 tracks there? They're 3 kind of different tracks, but somewhat similar.
It's gonna be one track at a time.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, because it's been a rough season, so try taking one track at a time, and yeah, take it from there.
I mean, yeah, you got some momentum coming off of this massive 4th place in Singapore. Could you imagine yourself anywhere near this position at the beginning of the race?
No. To be very honest with you, no. It was especially after on the first lap with the incident, so I didn't really expect to recover well from that.
Hey, you take the points when they come. Those are massive points to you and the Alfa Romeo team of Division 3. So very well done there, Unholy.
Thank you.
No worries, man. You've been around for a while, haven't you?
I don't remember when I first started. I think it was season 2, maybe.
Yeah, you've definitely been around for a while. So yeah,
Can't recall.
You're almost entering that OG status, but OG goes way back. But season 2 is it's pretty close.
It's almost there.
Almost there. But yeah, well done, man. Appreciate you coming in for the interview and rounding the numbers out.
Thank you for having me.
No worries. All right. Anything left to say before I jump back into the broadcast channel and run away from you guys?
Taxation is theft.
Okay, you gotta fucking zip it.
Red Eye, I'm proud of you for finishing, man. I say a little prayer for you every night before I go to bed because of the bad luck that you've had. And so good job, man.
I say a prayer every time before I start racing.
Yeah, I do for you as well. Yeah.
All right. Now, with that being said, well done to all you drivers. Good stuff, and we'll be talking to you guys very soon.
Hey, take care.
Yeah, you as well. God. All right. Well, we can't have a normal interview ever, but anyhow, is what it is. That is it for us here this evening. Thank you very much for tuning in. Don't have much of the results here, but we did have King David with his first race in Division 3, from what I understand, with a win. After a crazy dive bomb move down into Don't You Love Me? Haha. Yes, I do love you, Pork. Just gotta zip it sometimes, man. Yeah, with the crazy dive bomb move down into turn 1, 2, and 3 to get that job done, and Sherry Coleslaw with an impressive podium, and Dirty Boy Jackson with an unbelievably timed pit stop to get himself up on the podium, even after having 6 seconds worth of penalties, and was able to drive off and open up a massive gap, enough to get him second place overall. So a crazy finish there. Safety cars galore. Qualifying had some magic to it as well, and it was another good and fun race here in the Midwest F1 League. So if you do like what you saw, be sure to shoot us a follow as well as a like across all of our social platforms, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Go check those out. They're always asking for a little bit of action. So they have some quality input going into all of those channels. So go check them out. See if you like any of that stuff. If not, then just follow it anyway, because you got to support us or else. But anywho, thank you very much for tuning in. Hope you enjoy your Thursday. As per usual, enjoy your weekend. As well as per usual, I've been Crash McQueen. We've been the Midwest F1 League. Go check out the sponsors, Raise and EPOS. Good night.